Okay, we're going to hand this over to Sherry Williams. She's going to facilitate on our energy panel. So it's up to you, Sherry.
Good morning. Welcome to ECA's 2021 Energy Assistance Conference, Recovering Communities After Crisis. This is session number 1, Utilities. I am Sherry Williams, Senior Communications Specialist with the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission. I'm your moderator and speaker for this panel. Our presenters this morning include Patricia King, Manager, Community Engagement, PECO Energy; Laura Copeland. Laura is the Assistant Deputy Commissioner for Public Affairs with PWD; and Naisha Chapman, Manager, Community Partnership, PDW. The first thing I want to talk to you about at the Public Utility Commission, we asked our utility companies to provide us with education and outreach plans so that we can better serve the constituents, the consumers, and the advocates, everyone. So we asked them to include information in their outreach plans. So utilities had the opportunity to explore ways that they were going to partner with community advocates, community groups, leaders and businesses, human service professionals, legislators, and the Public Utility Commission, other government agencies, and stakeholders. Next slide. We were really trying to find out what the utility companies were doing with their advertising plans, with their social media and media messaging strategies. So we asked them to identify how educational and outreach events are advertised and promoted. We wanted them to identify and target key and at-risk audiences. We asked them to describe a plan to implement and execute messaging and branding, and explain how the utility will measure the effectiveness of its outreach advertising and media campaigns, such as television, radio, or social media ads. Next slide. We also asked our utilities to share examples of educational materials, such as brochures, fact sheets, posters, educational advertising, bill inserts. We all read the bill inserts, and program enrollment letters. We also asked them to share their brochures and other materials crafted for customers with limited English proficiency, such as Spanish-speaking consumers, and your educational videos as well. Next slide. At the Public Utility Commission, we host about 8 conferences per year, and we have a signature event called Be Utility Wise. And Be Utility Wise is a free professional development conference promoting consumer awareness of utility programs, education, and healthy living in Pennsylvania. Next slide. We also have fact sheets that we share with our consumers and our partners to send out throughout the entire state of Pennsylvania so that we can help consumers save money if they need help with their utility bills, all kinds of fact sheets. And we can provide these fact sheets to you. We have them on our website, and these fact sheets are very beneficial because they contain a lot of information. Next slide. On our social media platforms, we use infographics, and these are done in-house. So we have a lot of great messages, and they really do work. So we really want to use utility companies and the consumers to know that we are here for you. So the consumers know we're the Public Utility Commission, we're here for you. We want you to call your utilities now. We are here for you to help you follow the yellow brick road to the resources that are available to you right now. And we also want you to pay your utility bills. Next slide. Thank you. I am Sherry Williams with the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission, and I'm going to call up our first presenter for today, and that is Laura Copeland from PWD. Welcome, Laura.
Thank you, Sherry. My name is Laura Copeland, and I am the Assistant Deputy Commissioner for Education, Community Engagement, and Government Affairs for the Philadelphia Water Department. And thank you for this opportunity today to talk about the Philadelphia Water Department's Customer Assistance Program. Next slide, please. So our Customer Assistance Program basically consists of 5 different components designed to assist a wide range of customers who need assistance. First, our Tiered Assistance Program, or TAP, where customers pay a reduced rate based on their household income. The income thresholds for TAP are based on the federal poverty level guidelines between one of our partners, UESF. Through the Utility Emergency Services Fund, we work with them through their Water Housing Stabilization Program, where they provide water conservation measures such as heads and things of that nature that can help our customers conserve water. They also help our customers complete and submit TAP applications. And finally, they also administer their utility grant program. We still have our senior citizens discount, which is a 25% discount for income eligible seniors 65 years of age or older with an annual income of no more than $32,300. And for those that don't qualify for TAP, we still have payment agreements. And due to the pandemic, we have the possibility of lower down payments and longer terms. We also have special hardships for those experiencing a hardship like medical bills and a loss of a job. Next slide, please. Now, for our customer assistance program, we just have one implication. So for the 5 programs that I just described, there's just one application. Once we receive the application, we'll put our customers in the most cost-effective program for which they qualify. Next slide, please. So a new incentive for customers to get on our customer assistance program is principal balance forgiveness. If customers have back debt, this is a great program to get current on your bill. So as of September 1st, 2020, water customers that are enrolled in our tiered assistance program can earn debt forgiveness after making 24 payments in full. Next slide, please. So I wanted to bring more attention to our special hardships clause, because it's a very good way to get assistance even if your income is a little higher. So special hardships will include stuff like if your household grew, if you lost your job, if one of the breadwinner is suffering from a serious illness, there's a loss of a family member, or domestic violence. So we recommend our customers that may have higher incomes to look at this as an option. Next slide. So in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, we are ensuring people continue to have access to clean water because it's essential to public health. So we've extended our moratorium on shutoffs through spring of 2022 for residential customers. But we want to reiterate that unpaid bills continue to grow and customers should make payment agreements or apply for assistance. It's critical for customers who can't pay their bills to take advantage of this extended period of shutoff protection and get in touch with us. We have staff and programs that can help customers avoid a big debt once we get through this crisis and shutoffs resume. No one should wait until the last minute. Next slide, please. So in addition to the shutoff protections we've instituted in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, we reached out to our customers because we recognize that they may have some difficulties paying their bills in light of the pandemic. So we sent letters, we reached out to them with phone calls, because we want to make sure that they can stay in water and keep their bills current. Next slide, please. So this past summer, there are some important updates to our programs. So we're ensuring that people have access to clean water. However, there's some important updates that people should know. So beginning May 1st of 2021, customers that are not involved in our assistance programs, penalties for overdue water bills were put back in place. In addition, enforcement measures excluding shutoffs, including referrals to collection agencies, went into effect on August 2nd. Next slide, please. So we want to encourage our customers to contact us now and don't delay. The moratorium is going to end on April 1st, 2022. So we're encouraging our customers to contact us now. Beat the rush. We have many ways to help, and our programs are more flexible than ever. Next slide, please. And you can enroll at any time. You can apply online at www.phila.gov/waterbillhelp, or you can contact our customer contact center at 215-685-6300. Any questions about our program can be addressed to WRB helpdesk at phila.gov. Next slide. Thank you very much again for this opportunity to talk about our customer assistance program. I'll put my information in the chat in case you want to reach out. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Laura. We really appreciate you sharing the information with everyone today. Please, if you have questions for Laura, please drop your questions into the chat. She will leave her information in the chat, and you'll have the opportunity to get some of your questions answered today. So thank you so much, Laura.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to call up our next presenter. And again, this team that we put together this morning has a wealth of information. So I want to introduce you to Naisha Chapman. She is the Manager of Community Partnerships with PGW. And I've been working with Naisha for a number of years. These three ladies I've been working with for a number of years. And Naisha has some wonderful information for you today. So Naisha, you're up next.
Thank you, Sherry, and good morning, all. Thank you for having us at the ECA Energy Conference, the virtual conference this year. So again, as Sherry stated, I am Naisha Chapman, the Manager of Community Partnerships at Philadelphia Gas Works, and I'm just going to go over an overview of some of our programs and services that we offer. Next slide. So as we all know, we're still going through our pandemic. Who knew that we would still be in a pandemic a year later? One of the things we wanted to talk about is PGW's ongoing pandemic response. At PGW, we definitely care about our customers and want to ensure that those that are going through financial insecurities have all the information they need to get on available programs and opportunities that are open right now. So as a result of our ongoing pandemic response, PGW has extended our outreach to customers to let them know about LAHI funds when they were available, additional grant opportunities, and special payment arrangement offerings that we had. We also enrolled customers when available into new payment arrangement options, as well as increased our eligibility guidelines for our CRP program. Our CRP program is geared towards income eligible customers. So we've reduced our energy burdens towards those customers and definitely outreach to everyone, especially those in a financial insecurity, to let them know what was going on and to get them enrolled in our customer responsibility program. In addition, we also offer our commercial customers, our small business customers, payment arrangements up to 18 months, which has not been done in the past, but we felt as though it was important to make sure that businesses as well as residents receive some type of assistance as they went through this pandemic. In addition, we joined into the support of outreach efforts in regards to the Philadelphia Rental Assistance Program and other utility programs such as USEF to let customers know that there are federal funds and private funds available to assist them in this pandemic. Next slide. Some of the programs that we offer at PGW that are geared towards customer assistance, one is our CRP program or customer responsibility. That program is income-based. It is for customers at or below 150% of the federal poverty level. Our CRP customers, as I stated earlier, we reduce the energy burdens assessed to those customers. So CRP customers now are on a 4 or 6% of their income arrangement. So that means that we reduce that energy burden by almost 50%. Customers enrolled in our CRP program, if they have a balance at the time that they enroll, the balance will be put on hold and it's called pre-program arrears. Every time that the customer pays their new amount, which is based on their household income, on time and in full, they will also get that forgiveness off of their pre-program arrearage amount. So the idea is that the customer stays on the program for 3 years. If they pay their bill on time and in full for 36 months, they will be completely forgiven of all debt that they started on the program. If the customer falls delinquent while they're on the CRP program, we also will, the forgiveness will stop, but once they caught up or catch up on their CRP arrangement, they will get all back months of forgiveness. So they don't have to worry about the debt forgiveness. It will still be there once they catch up on their CRP arrangement. And one of the things we also eliminated for our CRP customers is the need to pay the $5 payment that went towards their back bill. So now they only pay the 4 or 6%, which is totally based on their income and how many people live in their household. In addition, CRP customers are also offered additional weatherization services. So if they get a call or a letter from one of our contractors, they can actually enroll in free weatherization services that is open to all CRP customers and also other customers who are at or below 150% of the federal poverty level. The other program that we have is our budget billing program, which is open to all residential customers that are current on their gas bills. So they cannot be delinquent to get on our budget billing program. But this program is, in a sense, a way to manage your monthly bills on a yearly basis. So we look at how much gas is consumed over 12 months, and we spread the bill out into what's called an average bill. So for a customer that may use $1,200 a year in gas, their average bill will be about $100 a month. With our budget bill, we do look at the bill at least every 3 months, and we fluctuate it based off of the customer's balance, weather, or we're just having a colder winter than normal, if our rates change. That way we know that the customer is in line with what they're using for the rest of the year, and they won't incur a larger balance. So that is our budget billing program. The other program that we have are payment arrangement options. Our payment arrangements are up to 60 months to pay off the gas bill. It is set up like a budget bill. So the customer gets their average bill, which I just talked about. We look at what they use on a yearly basis. We average their bill out, and then we look at how much money is owed, what they're delinquent at the time that they enroll in our payment arrangement, and we divide that amount over 60 months or up to 60 months. So that amount, again, the budget will fluctuate every 3 months, but the amount that is going back to the arrears will remain the same until the entire bill has been paid off. And once the customer finishes with their payment arrangement, they will be automatically enrolled into a budget bill unless they call and state they want to come off. So those are our customer assistance programs, and we encourage all customers to get on any available customer assistance program right now. You don't want to wait until we show up at your door, or you don't want to wait until you receive a collection notice. You want to call us now to enroll in any program that is available. Next slide. So one of the things we wanted to encourage customers also to do is enroll in LIHEAP. LIHEAP does open up on October the 18th, and it will close in May of 2022. The good thing about LIHEAP this year is that the amount has increased to $1,500. That is a $500 increase from last year. So we want to encourage all customers to apply for the LIHEAP grant, which is a federal grant to help with heating costs. The one thing about LIHEAP is that customers do have to be at or below 150% of the federal poverty level. It is open to homeowners and renters, so both homeowners and renters can apply. The grant amount is based on household size and income, and the grant does not have to be repaid back. So that is amazing for customers who are thinking that, they may get this money and they have to repay it back. No, it does not have to be repaid back. And the grant, again, customers can get up to $1,500 in assistance for LIHEAP cash, and they do not have to be delinquent to get this particular grant. Next slide. Crisis. Now, the crisis grant is also available, and again, the amount has increased to $1,200 this year. So customers who want to apply, they can apply between October the 18th and May of 2022. The grant will be available until funds are exhausted. The guidelines are still the same as 150% of the federal poverty level. Customers do have to apply for LIHEAP first to get the crisis grant, or they can apply at the same exact time. It is open to customers who are in danger of getting their services terminated, so they would have a shutoff notice, or they already have services terminated and they are looking to restore service. Eligible customers can apply for one crisis grant per program year. That does not mean per calendar year, it is per program year. So one of the things that I just wanted to state is that customers may have received LIHEAP and crisis grants recently because of additional funds that were available. We want to encourage customers and let them know that they can still apply for the new LIHEAP and crisis grants that become out in October. DHS is actually processing applications now for LIHEAP. They began processing them in September. So if customers or your clients are getting those LIHEAP applications, please encourage them to send them in now, because they can also get that the LIHEAP grant assessed against their account early. So again, apply for LIHEAP and crisis. The funds are there, and we want to try to encourage as many people as possible to get these particular grants. Next slide. How to apply for LIHEAP and crisis. There's a number of ways to apply. Customers can text 77037 or text WARM to 77037 to get an application mailed. They can visit our website, www.pgworks.com/LIHEAP, and they can now sign up for LIHEAP alerts. They can do that now so they can get an alert once the program opens, and we will mail them out an application or link them to our website where they can download an application. They can also go to compass.state.pa.gov to apply. They can go to their nearest neighborhood energy center to apply as well. And for the LIHEAP crisis hotline, that number is 215-560-1583. One of the other things that we are encouraging all social service agencies or neighborhood energy centers and or elected offices to do, if you are looking to get applications in your offices, you can actually contact PGW at our feedback@pgworks.com email address, and you can request applications to be mailed directly to your facilities. We will mail them out in English and or Spanish. Just know that our offices do remain closed until the foreseeable future, until we deem it safely for our employees and our customers to return. So again, if you want applications, you can go on our website to download them, or we can provide you with applications at your facilities at your request. Next slide. One of the things that we updated with PGW, we just recently updated our website, and more recently, we updated our PGW My Account portal. The PGW My Account portal is more user-friendly, and it allows customers to do a number of things. They can pay their bill through the My Account system. They can sign up for CRP through the My Account system, which is the quickest and easiest way to apply for our customer responsibility program. They can upload their documents. They can set up what preference they would like to receive notifications, whether it be text or by email. They can sign up for our auto pay system. They can get an energy snapshot to kind of see where they are using energy, and they can compare it to previous years. They can also look at least 24 months of their previous billing history, or sign up for e-bill, where they can get their bills electronically sent directly to their email. So there's a number of things to sign up to do with our PGW My Account system. We want to also note that any customer or anybody that was registered in our My Account system does have to re-enroll and re-register. You have to sign up with new login credentials. So if you recently went to go pay your bill and you know your username and your password and you weren't allowed access, it's because you do have to re-register. So all customers do have to re-register. Next slide. And here's some news you can use. So with our offices remaining closed, one of the questions that we do get a lot is, how can customers pay their bill? They can pay their bill online. They can call directly into our call center at 215-235-1000. They can also pay in cash at over 100 retailers. So our retailers that we are working with are Family Dollar, Dollar General, 7-Eleven, CVS, and Speedway. Customers will get their bill, and on the back of their bill, we have an easy read barcode that they would take to these locations, and they can pay in cash. It is absolutely free. There is no surcharge, and the payment will post the same exact day. This service is a little bit better than using a third-party service where we may not see payments for up to 3 days, or the customer may have to pay a surcharge of, sometimes $1 or $2. But again, this posts directly to PGW same day, and it is free of charge. One of the other things that we also offer is our PGW Marketplace, where we offer not free thermostats. We offer a discount on our thermostat through rebates. We also offer rebates on house heaters, as well as tankless water heaters. And again, this information can be found on our PGW website and or through our PGW My Account portal, where you can actually pay for your thermostat and get an instant rebate directly when you are getting your new thermostat. We also have a PG Works newsletter. So if anyone is interested in getting updates on what's going on in PGW, related to LIHEAP or whatever program that we have upcoming, you can also sign up for our PG Works newsletter by emailing feedback@pgworks.com. And the other thing that we are one of our campaigns right now is our part-time labor plan application. That application is for service contracts on your appliances. Our most popular combination that people like to purchase is the house heater and water heater, which is about $133. One of the things with the part-time labor plan is that you can get what's called a check and adjust. So a lot of customers like to get their heater checked before they turn it on. PGW will be more than happy to do that. It is an additional $55 fee, but again, you get a qualified technician that'll come out and look at your appliances. So these are some of the news that you can use and some of the things we have going on at PGW. Next slide. So to contact our PGW External Affairs Department, you can call 215-684-6901 or email feedback@pgworks.com. Don't forget to go to our website for more information at www.pgworks.com, or follow us on all social media channels, including Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Nextdoor at MyPGW. And I want to thank you all for having us today. And Sherry, I will turn it back to you.
Thank you so much, Naisha. You just dropped a wealth of information this morning. I hope everyone was able to take all of that in. But if you did not take it all in, put your questions into the chat and we will get some of those questions answered for you. So thank you so much, Naisha. All right, next up, we're going to have a representative from Pico Energy. And that person is Patricia King. Patricia King is going to talk to you about the programs and services that Pico Energy provides to their consumers. Welcome, Patricia.
Thank you very, very much. So thank you, Sherry, very much. Thank you, everyone, for participating today. in this conference. And I just wanted to share a few slides with you to talk about what's going on at PICO. Next slide, please. So before doing that, I just wanted to kind of outline the need in our service territory, and in particular in the city of Philadelphia. Next slide. So when we think about the city of Philadelphia, we're actually going higher, the state of Pennsylvania. So in the state, Naisha was talking about LIHEAP, and most of you are familiar with LIHEAP. Of course, that's a federal grant program, which means that all 50 states get a piece of the pie. And so out of all 50 states, Pennsylvania gets the third largest allocation. And that says that unfortunately, there's a lot of poverty in the state of Pennsylvania. And then taking it a little closer to home, the city of Philadelphia, we know amongst large cities has the most poverty in the nation. So unfortunately, it is what it is, but it makes it even more imperative that we share this information with you, because we want to make sure that you have the energy that you need to just survive. Next slide. So this was a study that was done a couple of years ago, but it's still true today, and maybe even more so. You know, if faced with an unexpected expense of $400, could you cover it? And about 40% of Americans could not. And we know unexpected expenses happen all the time. So on top of the fact that there is a lot of poverty, and unfortunately some places deep poverty, there are also these unexpected expenses, which exacerbates the issue even more. Next slide. So what do we have at PICO to offer you to address some of these issues and the poverty in our service territory? So we have our ongoing assistance programs that are listed here: CAP, MEF, CARES, and LIHEAP. Then we also implemented some COVID programs as well to address the additional need that has come about because of the pandemic. And then also there's a lot of government programs that are out there. And so we try to do our part in making sure that you are aware of all of the government assistance that's available to you. Next slide. So in talking about those three prongs, again, the PICO assistance programs, then the PICO COVID programs, and then the government assistance programs, just want to kind of high level give you some information on those. Next slide. So when we talk about our programs, we have a very complementary portfolio of programs that provide both situational and continuing support. So some folks need ongoing support, and some people need support because a particular situation has come about. All of our programs are based on the FPL, or federal poverty level. I have a chart on the next slide to show you what that means. And okay, so this slide goes into the federal poverty level. And you can see here, it looks like a lot of numbers, but it's very, very easy to read. You just look at how many people are in your household and what's your total household income. So if we look at this as an example, 4 people in the household, if you go down to number 4, you go across to the green, you see 3,313. And you go up and you see that that's 150% of the federal poverty level. So that means a household whose income is $3,313 a month or less is eligible for both PICO's CAP program and LIHEAP. If that number is higher, if you have more people in the household, then that number goes up. And if there are fewer people in the household, that number goes down. But this chart is available on our website so that you can determine your eligibility for the variety of programs that we have available. Next slide. So when we talk about our program, so ongoing assistance, as I mentioned, we have programs for ongoing assistance as well as situational, and everything kind of in between. So from an ongoing assistance perspective, we have our CAP program, Customer Assistance Program. This is synonymous to the water company's TAP program that they talked about, and PGW's program, CRP. At PICO, it's called CAP, Customer Assistance Program. The big thing about CAP is that we have PPA forgiveness, or pre-program arrearage forgiveness. And this means that everything that you owe at your initial enrollment in CAP is set aside for forgiveness. And that's really huge, because that means that you were getting a bill that you were unable to pay. And so as a result, you fell behind. Now you have a delinquency. You get on CAP. Our goal is to give you a fresh start. And so we set all of that aside for forgiveness, and then we render you a bill that meets PUC affordability guidelines. We spend about $80 million a year in this program, so it's a pretty significant amount of money. Then there are usage reduction programs, and we have a variety of usage reduction programs because we understand that to the extent that we can reduce your usage, that will also reduce your bill, which will help. And so a lot of times folks say, well, wait, I want the usage reduction or the cap. You can get all of these programs. They are intended to be complementary. And so it's not like you have to pick one or the other. You can get all of them in conjunction with each other as long as you meet the eligibility qualifications. Our grant programs, our hardship program, MEAF, and then LIHEAP, of course, which is the federal grant program. And then from a situational assistance perspective, we have our CARES department, which stands for Customer Assistance, Referral, and Evaluation Services. And with CARES, we provide one-on-one support to customers who have extenuating circumstances or special needs. Next slide. So then with COVID, what has PICO done from a COVID perspective? Next slide. So when you think about COVID, the first thing we did was implemented a moratorium when it began, even before the commission ordered us to do so, because we knew that this thing was big. We didn't in the beginning know exactly how big it was going to be, but we knew it was our responsibility to provide service for folks. So in addition to implementing a moratorium, we identified and restored all of the customers whose service was terminated, waiving all of the connection fees and deposits and things like that. And then we have established additional bill relief programs that are still in place today at pico.com/bill relief. Next slide. So then government funding. As you know, there was a lot of government funding, next slide, that is available for customers. First, LIHEAP. So there was an additional $4.5 billion with a B that was allocated to LIHEAP. That was in addition to the money that was already allocated. So that was huge. That's more than Pennsylvania. Our share was more than we receive in a typical year. These monies all have to be spent by September 30th of 2022. But as you heard Naisha talking about, she went in extensively about LIHEAP, which is great. The big thing here is that it is going to start, the program is going to open 2 weeks earlier than normal, and it's going to stay open for at least a month past its normal time. So it's going to open for longer duration, and also the grant amounts are higher as well. So whereas the minimum cash grant used to be $200, now it's $500, so that's significant. The minimums and maximums for crisis went up as well, as Naisha explained very eloquently in her presentation. So LIHEAP is huge, and I can't understate that customers really need to take advantage of this. Every year, literally millions of dollars go untapped under LIHEAP. So please, 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 when the program opens on October the 18th, please encourage everyone to, if you are eligible yourself, please apply. If you know someone who is, please encourage them to apply for LIHEAP. Homeowners assistance, this is a huge, big deal. This is going to start soon, the homeowners assistance program. It's not operational yet. However, there's been a lot of activity. The draft plan has been presented. It has to be approved by U.S. Treasury, and once it is, this will really be a huge help for customers. So it's not just assistance with your mortgage and mortgage-related expenses like homeowners, your taxes for your property taxes, insurance and things like that. There's also a utility component, and that's critical for this program. So stay tuned. This is expected to start either late this year, 2021, or early 2022. But this will be a huge help for our customers. And then ERAP, the rental assistance program, phase 1 and phase 2 funding. So there is a lot of money out there for ERAP. That program is currently going on now. So I can't understate, if you are a renter and you have fallen behind on your rent or utilities, please reach out to for an ERAP grant. And all of this information is available on our website at pico.com/help or bill relief. Next slide. Next slide, please. Thank you. So when we're talking about ERAP, as I mentioned, that is going on right now. So just wanted to give one slide about that because this is something that both landlords and tenants can apply for. And again, there is a utility component with ERAP. The eligibility is 80% of the area median income, AMI, which roughly equates to about 300% of the FPL. So that means that a lot more people are, this is literally twice the eligibility of LIHEAP. So that means that a lot more people will qualify for ERAP. So if you don't qualify for, CAP and LIHEAP, et cetera, you'll likely qualify for ERAP or know someone that does. So this funding in the city of Philadelphia, each county in Pennsylvania has a different agency that's administering the funding. In Philadelphia, it's PHDC, Philadelphia Housing Development Corporation. But please, I cannot understate that. Just apply for ERAP. This is funding that is there that can help with your rent and utility assistance. Next slide. Scam awareness. So just wanted to leave you with, next slide, a little bit about scams. And unfortunately, next slide, please. Unfortunately, during this pandemic, there are a lot of folks who have tried to take advantage of people via scams. And there are a lot of spoofing techniques to manipulate the caller ID. So it looks like, excuse me, it looks like the call came from Pico, but they've used different tactics like try to say, please, you have to pay right now, give me your credit card number or your service will be terminated. We do not operate that way. If you ever feel uncomfortable or you feel like this doesn't sound like Pico, it probably isn't. You can always say, you know what, I don't feel comfortable. I'm going to call Pico back myself. If it is a true Pico person, they will not be upset. They will understand and say, okay, I understand. Please call us back and give you the number. So if you receive a call unsolicited, please be very careful and skeptical about sharing your information. Next slide. So do not pay scammers. Do not give people your credit card information. A Pico representative, again, would never call and say, you have to give me this information and request a credit card, things like that. Look at your bill. Check your bill, log on to pico.com or our mobile app so that you can see. Never open your door for someone that comes and says, hey, I'm here from Pico and I need you to pay your bill. We, again, do not do those types of tactics. If there is some issue, like perhaps a gas odor, electrical issue or something like that, you can ask for a photo ID, but be very skeptical about letting anyone in your home. Protect your account information. Again, do not share your information with anyone. And when you're ever in doubt, just give us a call. Call us at 1-800-494-4000 to speak to a representative. Next slide. And I think at this point, I am turning it back over to Sherry Williams. So Sherry, thank you very much.
Thank you, Patricia. That was a lot of great information. Again, drop your information into the chat so that you can get your questions answered right now. So we did have a few questions that came up and we wanted to just highlight those questions. And I'm going to read off the questions and then we're going to bring our panelists back to answer some questions. And then we're going to take a short break and go live and answer many more questions that you may have. So one of the questions that we had was, how has your company pivoted with regards to outreach through the COVID-19 pandemic? So we'll start with Patricia King, since you are up on the screen.
Okay, no problem. We have pivoted in a variety of ways. So before the pandemic, we were literally out in the community every week. And Sherry knows because a lot of times she was there with us. So outreach was a really critical component, and we prided ourselves in doing so. Of course, the pandemic kind of changed things significantly in that regard. And so we have gone to a lot of virtual methods. Some things that we will continue to do even post-pandemic because they are very effective. So from a personalized perspective, we've done direct dial phone calls. We've reached out to customers via email, things like that. Some of the things that you might feel are, second nature, but we just didn't do that because we were literally out in the community. We've used a lot of social media. A partnership perspective, we've worked very closely with our community partners to arm them with information, a variety of different ways. Again, from social media to phone calls to emails to partnerships, we've pivoted in a lot of different ways, and we continue to maintain contact with our customers, and customers definitely appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much, Patricia. We see a lot of what you're doing in your E&O plans, so we greatly appreciate that. So
Thank you.
You're welcome. We will also want to bring up Naisha Chapman. Naisha, we want to ask you a question. What program resources can you offer to consumers at this time?
Well, I think all the resources that we talked about today are the ones that we can basically offer. So, one of the things we're focusing on right now is just trying to get people to apply for LIHEAP, to apply for our customer responsibility program, to set up payment arrangements, to just do whatever it takes so that services are not terminated and we have consumers going into the winter without proper resources or utilities. So we just want to encourage customers to, one, call, to open up the bill, to call us, and to find out what's available to them. The thing that I will stress is that when you do call the utility companies, you might want to make sure that you have your proper documentation in front of you, like your pay stubs, your Social Security award letters, Compass benefit letter, just so that you're giving accurate information and we give you the right program that fits your needs. So again, apply for any and all programs that are available, and just call your utility company.
Thank you, Naisha. And now I want to go to Laura Copeland and ask one question. How can your company help through grant funds? I know you mentioned a few programs that you work with. Laura?
Sorry, thank you, Sherry. So the water department has our customer assistance program that pretty much helps our consumers during the pandemic. We also work with utility emergency services funds to assist our customers. They have utility grants available to help our customers. So we encourage them to reach out to UESF and or us so that we can put them in the best program that can help them get current on their water bill. We encourage them to just contact them and we'll do the rest.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Laura. And so again, my name is Sherry Williams. I'm with the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission. If you want to file a complaint with the Public Utility Commission, you have every right to do that. The only thing that we really ask you to do is to consider, please, you calling your utility company first and making sure that you're working with your utility company. And that number, if you happen to file a complaint, is 1-800-692-7380. So I want to just bring all the ladies back at this time. Okay. All right, just give us a minute. Drop your questions into the chat. We're still taking your questions. I know you have a lot of questions this morning, so if you can't remember them all, write them down, drop them into the chat. Okay, so we'll stop here for a brief moment and then I'll bring all the ladies back for more questions. Thank you very much for participating.
Okay, thank you very much, Sherry. Very, very informative session. Fortunately, we're running ahead of our timeline, which is great. It gives us time for more questions.
Steve, I actually think we're going to do a live Q&A with
Oh, you're gonna do
Sherry
live?
and all of the folks. Yeah, I think we're going to do a live Q&A for the
Okay.
next, since we do have time for the next
Yeah,
20, 25 minutes or so. So we'll hand it back to Sherry.
okay.
Okay, Steve. And thank you, Allie. Ladies, I know you're all here. Listen, you guys just got a wealth of information this morning from Laura Copeland, Naisha Chapman, Patricia King, and we also have Keisha Abad here with us this morning. So if you have not had the opportunity to drop your questions into the chat, I really need you to do that now because we have everyone right here, right now. So I see someone has their hand up. I can't see who it is, so let's just take your first question. Whoever's hand is up.
Okay, Charles Lanier, Hunting Park Neighborhood Energy Center. And I know this is going to happen. I'm so sure it is because I know Steve and Lorraine is on top of this. But all the great work that our neighborhood energy centers do, I want to acknowledge them. And I also would like for everyone on the conference to know who we are. So if possible, if you haven't already done it, list all the neighborhood energy centers so people will know where we are and who we are.
Okay.
Is that possible?
Yes, we can definitely. Of course, it's the ECA conference. They're definitely going to drop that information into the chat for sure. We love the neighborhood energy centers. You can't even live without them. So thank you, Charles, for always being an advocate to make sure that information gets out there. And so the ladies, Lorraine, Catherine, Steve, anyone from ECA, drop that information into the chat. If you have questions, let me hear a question from you that you have for any of our panelists this morning. Is there another hand raised? Is there anything in the chat? Let me check here. Okay. One of the questions we have in the chat are the EARP funds getting to people? Many clients state their applications have not been approved or they can't get information regarding status. Do you believe money remains available? Who wants to take that one?
I will say, oh, I'm sorry, Patricia. Go ahead, Patricia, because you know
We're
more
all
information.
excited to take the question.
No, it's okay. Go ahead, Naisha.
Oh, I was just going to say, I know for PGW, we've received over $2 million in ERAP funds. So the funds are definitely getting to customers. From my understanding, there is a backlog of applications right now. So there is money still available for ERAP. But like I said, there is a backlog, but I know Patricia probably has more information on there, but I do know money is getting to customers.
That is correct, Naisha. Money is getting to customers, and there is a backlog. It's about a 45-day backlog. So actually, there's a meeting. We have a weekly meeting with PHDC, and it's just unfortunate that there is a backlog of 45 days, but money is getting to customers. At PICO, I think we've received about $8 million so far for customers. Our service territory is a little bit bigger because we have the counties in addition to the city of Philadelphia. So we're working with the county offices also, but money is getting there. If you have a question or you have a customer who is in shut-off status, give us a call and we can always check to see if they have an application, if their application has been approved, that type of thing. Once applications are approved at PICO, we are putting a hold on the account to allow time for the money to get to us so the customers are not terminated while they are waiting for the funds to be sent. But money is still available, yes. Phase 2 funding has been released.
Thank you. That is awesome information. We want to get the money to the right folks. So thank you, Patricia. I know we also had some questions for Utility Emergency Services Fund. So Keisha, if you're there, we want to just tell us a little bit more about how you're working with the water department and more about the programs that you guys have. Keisha?
Thank you, Sherry. My name is Keisha Abe. I'm Director of Utility Grant Program here at USEF. We provide grants to the Philadelphia County for low-income people to help either keep their services on or restore the services to keep them in their homes. Right now, USEF, of course, we have our regular funding for the utilities, but we also have our CARES program, and that program is pretty much COVID related. Anybody affected by any kind of COVID-related situation as of March 2020, we're able to help you provide for utility assistance. Doesn't matter how much the bill is. If your bill is $10,000, we can pay that. We also got an update from Julia yesterday where our MEF program has increased a little bit. So anyone who established a payment arrangement in this year, 2021, doesn't matter what your bill is, we will apply $500. Doesn't have to zero out the bill. Unfortunately, if your payment arrangement was established the previous year, we have to go by the normal guidelines for MEF, which is $175. Just to give you a little bit more information about our utility grant program, we do help with gas and electric up to 175% of the federal poverty income guidelines, and we help assist with water up to 250%. Maximum grant for gas and electric is $1,500. Maximum grant for water is $3,000. Of course, with utility grant program, our grants is once every 2 years. That regulation doesn't apply to our CARES money. With MEF, we go by the regular guidelines once every 2 years. But again, a lot of changes have come into effect. So please reach out to USEF. You can go to our website at www.usefx.org, and I'll drop that in the chat. You can call our main line at 215-972-5172.
All right, thank you so much, Keisha. So, of course, I see about 67 people on this conference this morning, and I know you guys have some more questions, and we have a stellar panelist this morning. So you heard from Naisha Chapman, you heard from Laura Copeland, you heard from Keisha, you heard from Naisha. Put those questions into the chat now, because you have them right here, right now, able to answer your questions. If you want to send them information, put your information into the chat so that they can get it, and then you can further the conversation with these ladies. And also, again, if you want to file a complaint with the Public Utility Commission, you have every right to do that, but you have the opportunity to share with the folks that you work with, to work with the utility companies now, to get the grant programs and utilize these programs right now. But if you want to file a complaint because it's not working out, or you want to get some additional assistance, you can do that at the Public Utility Commission at 1-800-692-7380. So if we don't have any more questions.
It looks like we do, Sherry.
Oh, okay. I can't see the questions, so you guys help me out with that.
I see a hand. I see a hand up.
Okay, good. Sure.
This is Charles Lanier again.
Hi, Charles.
I'm sorry. We need your help. Everyone, we need your help, because we're on the front line. And with these questions or concerns about the rental assistance grants and utility grants, many believe that we have the money in our drawer somewhere in our file cabinet. We don't. And sometimes we get some very harsh phone calls about not receiving the payments, or when the payment's going to be due, and they're not getting any assistance or feedback or answers to their questions. So we need you guys' help when those calls come through, or some kind of communication. As a neighborhood energy center and as a NAC office, we are on the front line, and we get those angry clients.
Okay, so what we can do is make sure that we have your information, you have our information, because you guys are on the front lines. You do get all of the questions. We get questions as well, but people are upset.
Yes, they are.
Elizabeth talked about it this morning. We're in a COVID crisis. We're still in the crisis. We're all trying to figure it out and muddle our way through it. So when consumers are really looking for help, we're all there to help them. So if you need additional resources from any of us, please put that information in there and we will make sure you get it, because customers are concerned. They want to know if they can get these dollars right now. They may not have all the information that they need, but they need to know that we are all here to help them right now. It is crucial that we help them right now while the dollars are available. So thank you, Charles. And if
Charles,
we have any more
what agency
questions.
are you with? What agency are you with,
Oh,
Charles?
we're Hunting Park Neighborhood Advisory Committee, Community Revitalization Corporation. We're in Hunting Park.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
You're one of our CAP enrollment sites.
yeah, we
So-
are CAP, USEF. We do it all pretty much. Rental
Okay.
assistance. And sometimes it gets very challenging for our staff because people are angry and they're using language that's not appropriate as we are trying to do our best to service our clients.
If
I
you have
understand.
any individual PICO issues or customers, please just feel free to reach out to me. I put my information in the chat. Just reach out to me. Let me know. We can deal with it on a one-on-one basis, or if there's some systemic issues, and something that we need to change or address, we can do that as well. But just reach out to me.
Yes,
I'm
we
totally
will.
open
And
to that.
we try our best.
All
Thank
right.
you.
But
Thank
we
you.
appreciate that, Charles, and you guys do a great job. I see some additional questions. Can Keisha again state the additional funds and process to access help? She said no matter the amount of the bill for some programs. Keisha, can you address that question?
So our CARES funding, that's COVID related, which means that if you had any kind of, you was affected by COVID as of March 2020, moving forward, and God forbid you have a shut off notice, say for instance, your bill is $10,000. We can help apply for that and get that zeroed out for you. There's no amount that we cannot pay as long as COVID related and the funds are available. We'll be able to assist you with that. As far as MEF, now, if you have a payment arrangement you established this year, you can apply for a MEF grant. Doesn't matter if your bill is over $500. We will help apply their funds to your bill. And we won't zero it out, but we will apply $500 if you made a payment arrangement 2021. If you made one last year, unfortunately, we have to leave a zero balance on the bill with our MEF grant.
Thank you, Keisha. And if you need more additional information from Keisha, drop your information into a private chat with Keisha so that you can get that information. Everyone can do that with any of the representatives that you have on the line today. It's so imperative that you ask those questions, you develop those relationships today and move forward so that you can help the people, because again, you guys are on the front lines. So
Right.
we do have another question.
I see a hand raised from We Never Say Never.
Okay, all right. I can't see all the questions, but thank you, Lorraine. I'm just trying to read some and
Sure. Is We Never Say Never on? If you have that question, I see your hand is raised. Okay, maybe they'll come back.
we never say never. We'll come back when it's time. All right. So there was another.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, here she is. Yes. we can
Hi,
hear
this
you.
is Adrienne from We Never Say Never.
Okay.
First, I just like to let everyone know we will be open on October the 5th. We were exposed to COVID, direct exposure, and we had to shut down. So that's why our office has not been open. So to everyone, please be safe. Make sure that the clients that come in, they wear their masks and do the wipe downs and everything, because we were shocked. We really were. So keep Cooper in prayer because she's recuperating.
Okay.
Also, my question is about the funds for homeowners. There's a lot of funding out there for the renters, and it was supposed to be funding for homeowners also and help with their utility bills, because many of them are over the 175% tile. But they're finding out that whoever is now running that program is not accepting homeowners' utility bills. And these homeowners waited all this time for the program, and now they're being turned away. Can anyone address that about their utility bills?
Okay, ladies, can anyone address that? Patricia?
Yeah, I can address that. Yes. So the homeowners program has not started yet. The agency PHFA that's running the homeowners program, they have received the funding. They received that this summer. They sent their draft plan to, they created a draft plan. So for the homeowners money, so that's $10 billion with a B on a national level. And Pennsylvania is getting a big piece of that pie. There's going to be one agency in Pennsylvania that's going to handle the entire state of Pennsylvania, all 67 counties, which is very different from ERAP because ERAP has a different agency in each county. And so the rules will be the same, but the program has not started yet. And I can tell you in the draft plan that was sent to US Treasury, they do have a utility component in it. I'm not sure if there is an internet component in there, but there is a utility component. So the program will consist of all of the housing needs, which would include the mortgage, homeowners insurance, homeowners taxes, and utilities. So it is there, it will be there, but the program has not started yet because they have to get approval from the United States Treasury Department on the plan that was proposed. So it's probably some confusion where they may be calling ERAP and they're saying we don't have any homeowners assistance yet, but that's not necessarily the case because ERAP is the rental assistance. The homeowners assistance is a whole separate program, but it has not started.
And that's why you guys are on this session this morning to get this type of information. And now hopefully we can diffuse some of the questions that you're getting out there about the residential customers. So please take that information back. You're on the front lines. Do we have more questions for PECO, PGW, Laura Copeland from the Water Department, or Keisha from Utility Emergency Services Fund?
Sherry, can I just say one more thing?
Yes, you can.
I'm sorry. In regards to the homeowners, so 80% area median income for ERAP. So that's for the rental assistance program, and it's rent as well as utilities. And that is roughly equal to about 300% of the FPL. So the utilities, we all go by the FPL. So that's a lot of customers who are eligible. For the homeowners, it's going to be even higher. It's going to be 100% of the area median income. I can't even count that high. I'm not sure how high that is from an FPL perspective. But for vulnerable households, it's going to go up to 150% of the area median income. So virtually everyone is going to be eligible for that program. So I just wanted to say that for the, because you're talking, I don't know, 600, 700% of the FPL, whatever that number equates to. So they're going to be a lot, and a vulnerable, almost every household will qualify as vulnerable because they'll have a child, an elderly person, disabled person, et cetera. So, you know, it's a really high threshold, and you're going to have a lot of folks qualify for this funding.
Those are some really excellent points, Patricia. Thank you so much for explaining it. And if anyone else needs additional information on that, drop your information into the chat. We can share more information with you. But education is key. And so that's why today's conference is so important, because if we weren't doing this, then you guys would not know what is going on. So thank you, ECA, for allowing us to hold this utility session this morning. And we do have a few more minutes to take additional questions. I can't see all the questions, so if you have a question, now is the time to jump in.
Sherry, there was a question in the chat. I think it was directed to me, so I'm more than happy to answer that. And it was about the difference between CRP and budget billing.
Okay.
The difference between those two programs is CRP is income-based and budget billing is usage-based. So budget billing looks at the usage over a 12-month period of what the household uses, and then we develop the average bill based off of the usage in the home. The CRP program is income-based, which means that while we do look at usage, the amount that you actually pay is solely based on the income in the home. And that is the 4% and 6% of the monthly household income and how many people live in the household. So CRP is income based, and it is driven by if you qualify. So you have to be at or below 150% of the federal poverty level. But for budget billing, it is open to all residential customers. You do have to be current on your bill to get on a budget bill, and it is based off of the average bill of the household.
Well, thank you, Naisha, for addressing. See, none of my panelists run from any questions here, even the hard questions. So thank you so much for going back and checking the chat and answering that question.
And it was one more question too. I think it was for
Okay.
everybody though,
Sure.
but it was about how do the utility companies promote NECs to vulnerable customers. So
Oh.
I will just say on behalf of PGW, when customers call us, and because our offices are closed, we are utilizing the ability of the neighborhood energy centers and their availability as well to be open. So we are referring customers to the neighborhood energy centers to apply for grant assistance on weatherization. We do ask for their zip code, and we direct them to the neighborhood energy center in their zip code or the closest one to them. We also have a list of the neighborhood energy centers on our website. So customers that visit our website also have that information. And we are in the process of developing QR codes as well, that we will direct customers directly to our website for those particular programs. So they will get a list of the neighborhood energy centers. They'll be directed to that section.
That is awesome. So can I bring all the ladies back to the screen? We have a few more minutes. Patricia, I think I heard you. Yes.
Yeah, I was just going to answer on behalf of PICO. So we also promote the neighborhood energy centers as well. We've partnered with the neighborhood energy centers. We're literally paying the neighborhood energy centers to enroll customers in CAP. So that's how invested we are in this. We have created a partnership with them. We have we list them on postcards that we mail out to customers. We include that information on our website. So we are promoting the neighborhood energy centers as much as possible, also partnering with them and trying to help them financially, as well as PICO identify and get customers enrolled on our assistance programs.
Well, thank you so much for that, Patricia. And as always, we do the same. It's the literature stays in my handbag, so I can just hand it out to people when I'm out in the field, along with the other fact sheets and everything that we have. So again, I want to bring back Laura Copeland, Patricia King, Naisha Chapman, and Keisha Abad. Everyone, I see you on the screen here. I want to thank you ladies this morning for coming and answering these questions. Again, it is critical that you put your questions into the chat so that they can scroll the chat and answer your questions, provide your contact information, and most of all, thank you to these ladies this morning for all the wonderful information that you shared. I'm gonna turn it back to Steve.
Thanks so much, Sherry. You did a masterful job of facilitating that session right on the timeline. Just amazing. Thank you to Laura, Naisha, Patricia King, and Keisha as well. Highly informative. We're just about ready to take our break, but before we do that, I got to do my job here. I want to make sure that we I get the message out there. I know BJ put it on the chat, but I'll put it out to everybody verbally as well. BJ McDuffie, probably the best workshop presenter on this planet, is looking for opportunities to present workshops for all gas and oil heat customers. BJ put her information up there. We can put it up again if you would like to contact her, questions, or perhaps to arrange to hold a excuse me, a workshop. I also want to plug the IAQ webinar coming up, excuse me, October 13th. We'll put that up on the chat as well. So with that, I need some refreshment myself. So feel free, go to your kitchens, and we'll see you back here at 10 o'clock.